welcome to Still Buffering, a sister's guide to teens through the ages. I'm Rileigh Smirl.
And I'm Sydnee McElroy. Rileigh,
Yeah.
guess what's coming up?
What's coming up?
Everybody's favorite day.
Oh no.
Valentine's Day.
I hate Valentine's Day.
I actually do too.
It's the worst.
I'm pretending that I like it so we can talk about it.
Is that what this is? Did you get me here telling me we'd be talking about like candy and stuff and really we're just talking about Valentine's Day?
Well, I thought we should talk about Valentine's Day despite my shared loathing of this holiday. Because I feel like that it's a part of, yes, it's a part of all of our lives, you know, from being a little kid to being a grown-up.
Right.
But specifically in school, we have all these kind of like codified rituals around Valentine's Day.
That made it sound really like satanic almost.
No, not like in a scary, although sometimes in a scary way.
I mean, yeah.
But there are certain things like you're supposed to do, like you're expected to do, like throughout your adolescent and teenage years. And I feel like that Valentine's Day that I experienced when I was like a teenager was very different than like my reality of Valentine's Day now, which is, because Valentine's Day now, like just to full disclosure, is like two things. It's one, Justin and I think it's silly. We don't get each other presents. We go buy a box of really good candy that we both like and we eat it.
That sounds great.
Yes. And we pick one that like we know we'll both enjoy, so we're not both like buying each other something and being like, is this the kind of feeling you like? So like we do that. And then the other part of Valentine's Day is hearing people who like openly hate it because like it's an insult to people who are single. And I don't think it is, because I think Valentine's Day should be about loving whoever, just loving everybody, loving your friends, your family, your significant other, whatever. It's just about love. So I think Valentine's Day can be for everybody. It doesn't have to be like couples awareness day or singles awareness day or whatever.
I also feel like February 15th is my favorite day of the year because it's when all this candy in the store is on discount. You get all of it for like 50% off.
Is that something that you worry about, the availability of discount candy?
Yeah, because I mean it's still good because you're supposed to get it on Valentine's Day, so it's not bad, but it's discounted. Get it for free.
There you go. Well, that's good. That is a good point about February 15th. It's something to look forward to. Perhaps if you love Valentine's Day and you're sad the day that it's over,
you get discount candy.
You and Rileigh can make a trip to Walmart.
Yeah, come with me. We can take our yearly trip to Walmart and clear out the aisles of candy.
I've always been a fan of you're a fan of Parks and Rec too.
Yeah.
Where they celebrate Galentine's Day.
Oh, I love Galentine's Day. I always do that on February 13th.
Yeah.
See, I love the day before and the day after. Just not the day of.
Well, I think that Valentine's Day could easily be, like I said, expanded for all the people you love. Mm-hmm. You can just tell them you love them. I mean, who cares like if you're coupled up or single or whatever? Who cares?
I mean,
fun.
all of you, I love you.
Yes.
I mean, probably everybody.
That's a lot of love.
I got a lot of love.
I'm a little stingier with my love.
Wow, Sydney.
I'm still talking to you. Is that a phrase? I'm talking to you.
I don't think you're using that right. I don't think you're using that right.
Are we going together?
No, I've never used that phrase before.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, Rileigh, let's talk about Valentine's Day in terms of like school, because what I want to know, I guess I'm asking you a question this week.
Oh,
ooh,
the tables have turned.
What I want to know is sort of like what Valentine's Day, like kind of compare what it was like for me as a kid to what like the reality is now.
Okay.
So let's start with like, I think where we can find some common ground. So when you're a kid, like a little kid,
like elementary school,
even before that.
Okay.
I mean, in elementary school too, but even before that, like my concept of Valentine's Day was that's a day when mommy and daddy gave me a box of candy and I don't know why.
Yeah. Like I'd wake up in the morning and dad would come in and give me like a stuffed animal that sang, and mom would give me like a box of chocolates and a card.
Yes.
That was Valentine's Day.
Yes. And that was a cool day because when you're a little kid, nobody expects you to buy anything because you don't have money.
They just give you stuff.
So exactly.
It's like Christmas, but only with chocolate.
Yes. Or Easter, but with better candy.
Right. Yeah. It's Easter, but with better candy.
Yes. Because
also totally different because two totally different holidays, but basically the same thing.
But that was my concept of Valentine's Day when I was like a little kid. So it was a cool day.
Yeah.
Because it was also like my favorite, personally, my favorite kind of candy, which is chocolate with like either like gooey caramelly stuff with like nuts or like toffee or like other like chocolate creamy things. Like that's my kind of candy. Forget all the fruity stuff. Forget all the chewy stuff other than Skittles, of course.
Okay.
But that's my kind of candy.
See, I'm the opposite. I don't like all the boxes of chocolates because I mean, I know those are the ones I'll eat are like the milk chocolate.
That's it?
Yeah. And then like, I mean,
oh, no.
Mom and Dad caught on really fast. They're like, oh, she won't eat this, which I mean, I guess Dad liked because then he got to eat it. But
because he buys you that box.
Right,
I know. It's the same one he buys me and you and Taylor every year.
And he knows that I don't like it.
Like the Russell Stovers. Like,
yes.
Yeah, every year.
He just counts on me like eating out all the milk chocolates and going, I don't really want the rest of this. Anyone want it? And he's just sitting there and he's like, well, I guess if you don't like what I got you, I guess I have to eat it. So Mom just started sneaking and getting me boxes of like sweet tart hearts and like Nerds that are all red.
Because you're a fruity candy person.
Oh yeah, fruity, chewy, Starburst.
Right.
Sweet tarts, Nerds, Laffy Taffy.
Can we agree that conversation hearts don't taste good?
They're the worst.
I don't get it. I mean,
I don't
they're
know why
cute,
people still eat them.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to eat them.
Does anyone eat them? Ever?
Somebody.
Are they even edible?
I mean, little kids probably do because they don't know better. Like, they don't know. Like, if
but
you give them candy, then they think, like, well, I don't know if any other candy will ever come to me again. Like, this might be the only candy.
Better eat it now.
I better candy when I have the time.
But, like, do you think they learn? Like, they eat one, they're like, oh, this is terrible. Oh, I can never eat this again. And then they just never eat it again.
Based on watching how much sand Charlie ate at the beach this past summer, I'm going to say they don't learn because she just like shovelful, bleh, another shovelful. So, yeah. So maybe they don't.
Maybe they just like see the colors. They're like, oh, it's colorful. Like, oh, it's edible. Mom's not going to tell me not to eat it. Here we go. And then it's the worst.
Do you like the chocolates that are filled, since you like fruity stuff, the chocolates that are filled with like
fruit?
The fruit cream?
No.
See, I don't either, but I thought maybe.
Does anyone like those either?
I don't know because
I've never seen anyone like those.
I'm the person who goes through the box of chocolates and sticks my pinky into the bottom of each one.
You're that kind of person.
To make a little hole and see like, oh, that's pink inside. Nope. Oh, that's orange inside. Worse. Nope.
See, you're the reason why I have no trust in anyone in our family. Because I always get my box of chocolates and it's like, oh, I guess I left this sitting on the table. I hope no one ate any of it. And then like, oh, this one hasn't been eaten. Let's go to eat it. And then there's stuff dripping out of the bottom of it because Sydney has stuck her finger through the bottom of it. So I can never trust anyone in our household because they stick their fingers in my candy.
I don't want to accidentally eat a fruit one.
You use your mouth for that. Or you could break it in half. And then everyone knows, oh, someone tampered with this. This is tampered candy.
But then it's gone to waste. If I just stick my finger in it, then you might just think it was like, maybe it was a little broken in the box.
Or
and
maybe
and then someone still gets to eat. I just don't want to waste.
But you are, because then I see it and I see the gross pinky hole and I'm like, nope, don't want to eat this. Sydney's finger has been in this. Sydney also just changed Charlie's diaper. Nope.
See, let me give you a sneak peek into your future. This is why once you're an adult and you have the ability to drive and or navigate public transportation and you have like money that you can buy whatever you want with, it's great because then you go buy yourself, like, there are boxes of chocolates that exist that are just like the chocolatey ones.
I'll eat those.
Forget the fruit, forget whatever you don't like. Like, there's just like yummy chocolatey goodness in them if that's what you want.
But then like Mom and Dad know I don't like it. Why does Dad always get me the same box of chocolate?
He does.
Why can't he just get himself chocolate?
How sad is that, Dad? Buy yourself a heart-shaped box of chocolate.
Mom should buy it for him then.
You can have that conversation.
I don't think I want to have that conversation.
So we've established when you're a little kid, you get candy from your parents. That's cool. And then you go to elementary school, and I mean, your parents are probably still getting you candy, but now there's this whole new thing where you have like friends and classmates.
Yeah.
And at least, and I'm assuming this is probably the same, we were expected to like go buy like your cardboard box of your little, like, usually your favorite like cartoon character or whatever, some sort of, like story character, somebody, right. Like, I don't know, like what did I like a lot? I used to have probably when I was little, I probably had a lot of Rainbow Bright, Valentines, something like that. And you would hand one out to everybody in your class, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you don't pick and choose.
Right, everybody.
And
they all pretty much say the same thing.
Yes. Did you ever do the thing where you would try to find the ones that were maybe a little bit like
the ones you liked more?
Yes.
And the
ones
your
that
friends.
Yeah, that made it sound like you might like that person a little bit.
And then you gave it to him?
And you gave it to like either the person you had a crush on or just for your friends. Like, these are the ones I like better, whereas this one is like a really like benign, like,
I don't even know your last name. Here's this Valentine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm doing this because that way we all have the same number at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that. I also remember we also had a contest in kindergarten where we all had to make a box to put our Valentines in.
Yeah.
And everyone who had the best one got extra candy. And Mom helped me make mine, and I made a giant pink cake that was 3 layers out of cardboard boxes. And we painted it and put like styrofoam on it to make it look like cherries and candies. And
really?
I won that contest, and I got all sorts of extra candy.
That sounds very impressive.
It was. I mean, they didn't believe I made it. Everyone else had like, like a square box that had like pink splattered all over it with glitter. And then mine was like obviously not done by a 5-year-old. But I still won.
We definitely always had we were lucky. Our mom was always very involved in any kind of school projects we had going on. So you could always see like that little polish that was put on any arts and crafts or like science or social studies fair. Any of the projects we did, that little polish that says, your mom helped you, right? I
mean, I could tell you were a part of this, but your mom definitely did like 80% of this.
But she was good at making it look just enough like we did it. Yeah. And we understood it, that we usually got away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like pretty much all of any time, 10th grade, 9th grade, 2nd grade, all of it, got away with it.
Yeah, pretty much. I hope your teachers aren't listening to this now.
Don't listen. I did all of my projects. What are you talking about?
Now Rileigh does them on her own.
Exactly. All on my own.
So in elementary school is cool because you get Valentines from everybody. I'm going to get, unless you're Charlie Brown.
Yeah, then you don't get them.
You don't get any.
But that's sad.
That is very sad. And that just wouldn't. Maybe back in Charlie Brown's day that happened. But luckily, in my youth and in Rileigh's youth, everybody gets a Valentine. Then you get to middle school, and it's a free-for-all.
It's the worst.
It's awful.
Except for my middle school. My middle school, I went to a private middle school for 6th and half of 7th, and they made us give Valentines to everybody. Oh. Now, it was different because we didn't have to buy them. They made them for us, and they didn't watch what we wrote on them.
Whoa.
So we could pretty much write whatever we wanted. And it was not great for me. No,
and it's middle school, so people write like messed up stuff.
Yeah, it was the worst. It wasn't great for me. I got a lot of blank ones. I got a lot of you're cool, like you are cool. I got a lot of my name misspelled.
Well, to be fair, your name is hard, I think, for people to know how to spell.
But like, if it's written on my bag that you're putting the Valentine in,
okay, that's fair.
Wouldn't you think you would know how to spell it?
That's fair. I was not so lucky in terms of having to get Valentines. Like at my middle school, you did not have to give anybody any Valentines. And we highlighted Valentine's Day in a couple of ways. One is we had a Valentine's Day sock hop.
Uh-huh.
So that's a dance.
I don't know. Why do you call it a sock hop?
Because it's actually, okay, sock hop actually predates me. That's actually what they used to call dances, I think, like back in the 50s, because you would like take off your shoes. Dance in your socks, thing? I guess.
That sounds very unsanitary.
I don't know. I think so. But like at my middle school, we still called them sock hops. Uh-huh. So we had like a special Valentine's Day sock hop where you would go and dance, and then they would have they had like a picture booth where you could take pictures with your I did with my friends. Like I still have the picture of me with my friends, and we're all wearing like pink or red sweaters.
There jeans. We are with the sweaters again. Are there turtlenecks too? Did you get them from Limited too?
I am certain I'm wearing a white turtleneck underneath.
Cool.
And my very high-waisted jeans. Uh-huh. Although those are cool again.
Those are cool. I have those.
They were also very light colored jeans. They were like very light denim. But so we would all like do that and like the Valentine's dance. And then there was also like a compatibility test at my middle school where like everybody could fill out a paper. And like with their like it was just a bunch of random questions about stuff you liked and stuff you didn't like. Uh-huh. And then they would put it into some, I don't know, this sounds like from a book, but it was real. Some sort of computer, which would then give you a list of like 5 students that you're a perfect match with.
They had like their professional middle school algorithm, like Beverly Hills. I don't know. Like, this is who your perfect match is.
That's what it is. And we were all so eager to see like.
That sounds like some sci-fi novel.
I hope it's somebody I know. Because most of the time it wasn't even a kid you knew. And you're
so they were like pairing up 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds.
Yeah, well, I mean, like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
That sounds like
it was
awful.
crazy. It was crazy.
That
now that I look
like
back,
that is not a thing that you should do.
And it was all, you know, that was intimidating because then it's like, who are you going to get paired up with, and what does that mean about you? Because if it was somebody that you didn't like, or if it was somebody that was considered like, you know, by middle school standards uncool, then I guess you're uncool too if you're compatible.
Yeah,
which wasn't shocking news to me, but
but
you don't want to see it on a computer printout.
Right.
And it was on computer printouts. Rileigh used to come on this paper that had like these rings along the edge, like holes all along both edges of them, like strips of paper that you could tear off.
Like notebook paper?
Sort of like notebook paper along the edges.
Why?
It was the way that it printed out. This is how computers used to print on these weird sheets of paper.
This is a whole other thing. I don't understand.
And you'd get this, and to me it looked very official. Like, this is my love report. This is my love report.
Official 6th grade love report.
These are the 5 guys that I should be in love with. I'm not in love with any of them. I don't know who 4 of them are. And that one, I don't like him very much. Oh no.
And this one, I'm pretty sure he got expelled.
What does this mean?
See, if it were me, if it were 6th grade Rileigh, I wouldn't have answered the questions honestly. I would have just been like, ooh, what does Bob answer to this question? Let's see, what's his favorite color? I'll put that's my favorite color too.
You're probably the one that always like tried to cheat on like the teen magazine quizzes to get the answers you want. Yeah.
Well, because they show you the answers ahead of time. Like, so they know you're going to cheat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I always try to do that to figure out what house I belong in the Harry Potter quizzes.
See, you got to answer honestly with that.
That's more important. That's more important than who you're going to get paired up with in middle school. That's fair. That's fair.
What Hogwarts house you're in is more important than like what hunky teen celebrity guy your perfect match is that you take in like Tiger Beat magazine.
Now, middle school is, and again, that's like a whole other. It's like this awful, like,
it's the worst
jungle experience where like you just make your way through, and either you decide to be one of the people who eats other people, or like you just hide in the bushes until you survive. And it's high school. Yeah. High school, and that's what I want to focus on mainly. For Valentine's Day was kind of complicated because we're back to this point where like, because like in middle school, like I may have gotten some Valentines for my friends and stuff, but like in high school, I don't feel like that was as big of a deal for me to be giving like some sort of card.
Well, it'd be kind of weird because like I don't have classes with like 80% of my friends. So am I just going to go find them in the hallway and just be like, here's your Looney Tunes Tweety Bird Valentine that I got you from Walmart.
I love you.
I love you. Here you go.
Actually, I think Tweety Bird now has a lot of attitude. A lot of the t-shirts that I see, sass. With Tweety Bird on them. Tweety Bird seems, pretty sassy.
So maybe I have feisty. Like a, I don't know, like a Bugs Bunny that I'm giving you because you're my favorite. I don't know. But that just seems like a weird thing to do. Yeah.
I don't remember ever doing that, like giving my friends stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like there were people who would bring like a bag of suckers or something. I would do that. Maybe like give some candy to all my friends. Yeah, that kind of thing. But it was really, by that point, it was more focused on like your significant other. And you go to the same high school I used to. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, we used to do a thing where you could like give somebody a rose.
Yeah, we do that.
Do you still do that? You could pay, I don't know, it's one of the student organizations, and they would deliver it. Which is the worst, because when you're in high school and you're sitting there in class, every class, you're sitting there just waiting. And then inevitably somebody comes to the door and they've got roses and you're watching them walk around the room. And guess
you don't get one.
Never got one.
It's like Mean Girls. It's like the scene where they hand out, what is it, candy canes?
Yes.
And it's like, 3 for you, Glen Coco, you go, Glen Coco, da, 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 and none for Gretchen Wieners, bye. It's like none for Rileigh Smurl, bye.
That's exactly what it felt like. It was terrible because I would sit there all day. And I did have a boyfriend for a while. And then I had a boyfriend who had already graduated. So like I knew I wasn't getting any. I don't know why I sat there thinking like somebody was going to send me one.
I have a secret admirer. In my third period science class, I have a secret admirer.
And it would have been creepy, I guess, for my college boyfriend to have come to the high school and be like, hey, I want to send my high school girlfriend a rose.
Here's $1.
Is that cool?
Fourth Machi has history.
I signed in at the guard shack at the entrance to the school. Is this fine?
This is legal, I promise.
It wasn't weird. It was legal.
I know. I just meant, okay. I know.
Well, I know. I just, but.
I know. We know, Sydney.
I did get a secret admirer Valentine one time.
You did?
I did. I got. When I was in 8th grade, I got
so it doesn't really count.
A box of candy and a note. And the note was in my locker. And then the box of candy was on my desk when I got to one of my classes.
How do you know it wasn't one of your friends?
Well, I thought it was one guy that I kind of liked. And so I kind of talked to him.
Did you ask him?
As if he gave it to me. And it was his friend.
No, Sydney, that's what you don't do.
It all went terribly wrong.
See, I had like the opposite problem. I was in Talented and Gifted, that little thing you go once a week in elementary school and like you work with other kids from other schools. And it was Valentine's Day and I was, was in like 2nd grade. So I was like wearing like pink bows in my hair and like I didn't care about like boyfriends or whatever. Like, you boys, cuties, gross. But then like I got on the bus and then this little boy came on and gave me a heart-shaped box of chocolates and a letter. And I was like, oh no, I hate boys. What do I do? So I just kind of took it and ate the chocolate and then never spoke to him.
But hey, you got candy.
I got candy. It was the good kind of candy too.
And he learned a valuable lesson, which is don't just assume that you're going to give me a box of candy and I'm going to talk to you or whatever.
Don't assume.
No, don't assume.
You gave me candy. Great. Thanks for the candy. That's it.
Did you get to know me? Did you come talk to me?
Did you find out my likes for dinner?
Do you even know that I hate this candy?
Do you even know that I hate this character from this Looney Tunes shaped box of chocolates that you got me? I hate him and I hate this kind of candy. And you think that you know me.
And you would have known all this if you had ever taken the time to sit next to me on the bus and talk to me instead of just assuming like it's Valentine's Day and like you hand me a box of candy and I'm going to go, oh,
I love you.
Oh, we'll be together forever now.
Yay, true love. We're both 6. True love.
And that's the inherent problem with like the whole secret Valentine and like giving people stuff on Valentine's Day. Like, no, you don't just get to like, now we have Insta relationship because you gave me candy. Again, like now I'm an adult. I can just go buy it.
Yeah.
Whenever I want.
I mean, I have my driver's permit. As long as I have an adult 21 years of age or older in the car, I can go buy myself candy all I want.
That is something we need to talk about at some point, are your weird driving regulations. It is so much more complicated to have a learner's permit these days. But back to high school. So the thing about high school that was complicated for me was like, so there's this weird thing where people get roses and then there's like, how big do you go for Valentine's Day with like your significant other?
Right. I mean, like, I've never had one in high school. I mean, we've been in high school for like a year and a half now. And actually, both years I've been in high school, Valentine's Day has been on a weekend. So I've been fortunate enough not to have to like suffer through that during the day at school. Like, I already hate all my classes enough. I don't want to watch you eating each other's faces off in the hallway.
Well, your friends who have boyfriends or girlfriends, do they, like, is it a big deal?
I mean, my friends that have boyfriends, because I just mostly have friends that are girls, and a few of them have boyfriends, and they don't
not that necessarily because they're girls they have boyfriends, but just the girls that are your friends happen to have boyfriends. Yeah.
Right. But they don't think it's that big of a deal. They don't like it like I do. I mean, they used to not like it when they were single, and now they have a relationship. I would assume they would like it now, and I asked them, and they said, I don't really like it that much. But what they do is, like, they get together, and, they hang out on the day that it is. And if it's during a school day, then they probably hang out together at school, probably after school, too, but not as late, because it's a school night. And, like, they get each other gifts, and, like, they hang out with each other, and, I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Is it like the same kind of gifts? Because like, back in my day, it was like the very generic, stereotypical, like, here's, a box of candy and like a stuffed animal and maybe some flowers.
I'd say mostly, unless there are a few people that I know that have been in like long-term relationships.
Long-term
how long-term can they be in
high school? Yeah.
But like they've been together for like one whole year, and it's like they get each other like a necklace or like, I don't know, a keychain or something.
A keychain?
A keychain? I don't know, but they just get each other something other than like a giant teddy bear, which seems to be what most of my friends want, is like a giant teddy bear or candy, mostly candy or flowers. So there's a lot of leaving stuff on their porch and then leaving.
Really?
And saying, come outside, check your porch.
Oh.
Which, I mean, that would be cool if, like, I was in, like, my jammies and, like, I didn't want anyone to see me with, like, no makeup on, hair wet, you know, and I wanted anyone to see me. That would be cool because it's like, hey, I get candy. I don't have to talk to anybody.
Right.
This is great. But, like, I don't know. It would seem like if that were my Valentine's Day, I'd be like, hey, dude, what's up? You left me stuff and you left.
Do you want to talk or whatever?
Do you just want to hang out? We can watch a movie.
Do people do like group things for Valentine's Day? Because that was never ours. Was like my recollection when I would have a significant other is that like it was us. Like it was a day like you better have something planned special, and then we would give each other a present. And it went both ways. Like I was expected to come up with some kind of present too. Yeah. It wasn't just all about like, you know, like I get all the presents, I get candy and flowers.
Right. No, for my friends that are in relationships, it's mostly just them. They don't do any group things. Now, my friends that don't have a significant other, like myself, we hang out together. Like last year on Valentine's Day, we had a Galentine's Day party for all of us that didn't have any one to have Valentine's Day with. And we just kind of like sat around, like ate chocolate and got each other like gifts and watched old like romantic comedies. But other than like hanging out with just your girlfriends, I don't think people that are in relationships really do group things per se.
Okay. One thing that this kind of leads me to the question of is back when I was in school, one thing that I would hope has improved by now, but I don't know, you tell me, is that when like for instance, when you would do the rose thing, like if you were going to get a rose for somebody in your class or whatever, I can't imagine, and I know that I went to school with people, you know, like some of my best friends who, you know, identified as lesbian or gay. Right. I can't imagine back then them openly like giving each other presents, you know, in front of other people and feeling safe in that environment. Right. I remember there were so many kids, and I mean, I know that they existed. I think in the crowd of people I ran with were more like accepting and nice and decent people. Good so people. It wasn't a big deal with my group of friends, but I know that there were people that I went to school with who would have just given them such a hard time, and it would have been really bad. And so, you know, one, there probably weren't as many people who were open about, you know, their sexual preference. And two, I think to, you know, openly celebrate that in front of people, they may have been very nervous. And I don't remember that happening a lot. Like they would celebrate outside school so that people would know. Yeah. Do you think that has changed?
I think it has. I mean, it hasn't become, I wish it had. It hasn't become a thing that's like celebrated. Like if you are a girl and you prefer to be with boys, it's a thing that everyone's like, oh my gosh, yay, you're in a relationship. That's so exciting. But if you're a girl that prefers to be with girls or a boy that prefers to be with boys, it's not really a thing that's not accepted, and like people aren't okay with it. Like people are okay with it and they recognize it's a thing, but it's not a thing that's become like, this is great, good for you, I'm so happy for you. Which I mean, if I had any friends, I don't happen to have any friends that prefer to be with people of the same gender, but if I did, if they got a significant other or went on a date with someone, I'd be happy for them and like, yay, that's just like a relationship if someone had one with someone of the opposite gender. But there are some people that just, I mean, they don't say anything bad about it because they know that would be like a crappy thing to do, but they don't say anything good about it either.
Do you think that they would feel comfortable like for dances and stuff at school? Like, do, you know, people, you know, come to dances with their boyfriend, girlfriend, or just their friend or partner or whoever, just their buddy who happens to be, you know, of the same gender? Like, would that happen?
I've never seen that happen. I feel like if someone was confident enough to do that and like they were, you know, happy enough and they're like, I don't care what other people think, I don't care what other people say, I feel like there are probably people in my school that would do it and like people wouldn't say anything bad about it in front of them, but then people that weren't okay with it probably would say something when they weren't around. But in terms of like being with each other at dances, I've never seen that happen. It probably has happened before, I just probably haven't been aware of it.
It's a big school.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, like 1,700 kids. It probably happened. I just wasn't aware of it happening. But being with each other in like the hallways at school, like on Valentine's Day, like giving each other things like a rose during class or something like that, I could see that happening and it being okay.
Not a big deal.
No, I mean, like, I'm of course okay with it. Like, I'm like celebrating, like, you know, love is love. Love whoever you want, you know, go for everybody. But I feel like people who aren't as okay with it wouldn't say anything. I feel like the people at my school are probably decent enough that they wouldn't say anything bad about it. They would just be like, you know, whatever, they're doing their thing, I'll do my thing.
That is definitely, I think, a stride in the right direction. You know,
yeah.
I mean, it, and of course that is unique to where we live, where
right.
I grew up, where you are growing up.
Right.
And it would be different other places, but I definitely think that that's an improvement because I don't
definitely.
think, you know, I know one of my best friends from high school came out his sophomore year, and I don't know that he would have felt comfortable telling a lot of people or with a lot of people knowing or like openly celebrating
right.
Valentine's Day or that kind of thing, just because there were people at our school who were, it wasn't just like, well, I'm not going to celebrate that because I have problems or whatever.
Yeah.
It was, they were mean and they were judgmental and they would say terrible things.
Yeah.
And it's nice to think that maybe at least we're moving in the right direction, that's not happening.
There are definitely people probably at my school, I mean, not people that I would be friends with, or I am friends with, that would be mean about it and would say mean things about it. But like our school as a whole has kind of become like, I want to say accepting of it. Like we have a lot of student council, like presidents, like we have the Young Republicans Club at our school, like the president, vice president, student council, like senior president, stuff like that are people who happen to be gay, who happen to have come out. People know about it and people are like accepting of it. It's not a thing that people use to like define them. I mean, they're cool people. They are friends with a lot of people. Everyone likes them. Everyone is friends with them. And it's just like, it's become a thing that people like are accepting of and are like, you know, they don't think about it. It's just a person. You
made a really cool comment there that I don't think would have been true at all when I was in high school, which is that that's not how others define that person, which is really interesting because I think that the few kids I knew who were comfortable enough to tell others about, you know, about their sexuality in high school, I think that other people would like see them only as that. Like they would have said like, oh, I know that kid. You're talking about the one who is gay. Yeah. Instead of like calling them by their name or like the one who's, you know, in band or the one who I have science with or whatever. Yeah. And it's really nice to think that like that's finally as it should be, you know, which is that they're defined by a million things. Right. That's one fact about them. And honestly, not a fact that we should like, that is often on display either way. No. Like I don't go around talking about, you know, the fact that I'm married to a man on a daily basis. Like that is not part of a conversation that I have generally, although I do talk about Justin a lot because he's pretty great, but I don't, you know, and so that's not that shouldn't be a big part of how other people define you or reference you or describe you. And so that's really cool. Yeah, it's a thing people know. Like they're not trying to hide it. I mean, there probably are some people at my school that are gay or like people of the same gender or feel uncomfortable with it, but they don't say it. But like even if people know and they haven't said it, people just, you know, let them be. Or like if people are open or have come out, they are like, you know, I am aware of that. I know that's what you're like, but people are still friends with them and people still like see them as just really cool people or really funny people or talented or stuff like that. That's really cool because I guarantee you there are people at your school who are members of the LGBTQ community who have not come out, who are, you know, who have not felt like they can tell other people or share that with other people. And the more that they see people around them who are accepted for being exactly who they are and who aren't openly criticized and who can live their lives and you know, the more that they see that, the younger that they see that, the sooner hopefully they will be able, you know, be comfortable enough to share that part of themselves as well. So that's a really great thing because I feel like I looking back, and I know now, like I know people now as adults who have, you know, who have come out, who have, you know, talk openly about their sexuality, who like in high school, I must have felt so alone and must have felt so scared because there's this stuff because you're trying to figure out everything about yourself when you're a teenager. Like it's all so confusing. Everything is so confusing. And to have that be something that you don't feel like you're able to openly figure out would be really scary. Yeah. So that's a really cool thing. Yeah. On the terms of Valentine's Day, I really think that like, you know, people
being with their significant other in the hallways in class and giving them roses, I don't think it would be a big deal. I feel like it's just
really
like
nice to
having
hear.
a relationship with someone who's of the opposite gender is the same as having with someone who's of the same gender.
Well, Rileigh, this has been very enlightening to me.
It has been for me too.
Yes. I think that it's kind of funny the way that, sometimes we talk about on the show things that are very different.
Mm-hmm.
Obvious stuff like technology and stuff. But this is something that I think a lot of what we talked about is very the same.
Yeah.
And it is because it's like a holiday and you get these like rituals and traditions around a holiday and they're the same. But it's funny to see how it plays out in school and how it's tweaked a little bit and maybe a little bit better now than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're finally realizing that if we're going to celebrate love, let's celebrate all love.
Yeah, everyone.
Not just some, one guy's definition of what love is.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I hope you have a very happy Valentine's Day.
And you too. I'll be sure to buy myself a lot of discount candy. February 15th.
You know what? I will treat you and buy you like full price.
Woohoo!
And you know what? I'll even buy you non-traditional Valentine's Day candy if you'd like.
Yeah.
Would you like some jelly beans or sweet tarts or?
That's the best.
I would call that Easter candy, but that's another conversation.
But that's the best kind of candy.
Okay, sure. Well, Rileigh, this has been a lot of fun.
It has been a lot of fun.
And thank you at home for listening, or wherever you are, at home in your cars and your various places of business, for listening to our show. Thank you to Max Fun for hosting our show.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Check out some of the other great Max Fun shows, including the also brand new Schmanners from Travis and Teresa McElroy, who we may know well, as you may have guessed. So check that out.
Based on the last name, we might know them.
Thank you to everybody who's tweeting about our show. You can tweet at us at stillbuff. You can send us emails at stillbuffering@maximumfun.org. Please feel free to send us emails. This is one thing we thought would be helpful. If you have any questions for Rileigh about like teen culture now,
I don't know that much about it, but I can figure it out.
About like, is this still a thing? Or like, what does that word that you said mean? That kind of thing. And if you would feel comfortable in us, maybe talking about it on the show, email us at stillbuffering@maximumfun.org and ask us those questions. And maybe we can answer them for you.
We want to know all of your questions.
Thank you to the Novellas for our theme song, Baby Change Your Mind. Check out their music. They're super talented. And also join our Facebook group.
Yes.
Our Still Buffering Facebook group. Yes.
If you're not a robot, we'll accept you. Don't worry.
That's pretty much it. It is a closed group, so we have to admit you, but we're just for
we're
robots. Anti-bots.
Yeah. We love all people except for robots.
So please join it and check it out. And otherwise, I think that's it for this week.
This has been Still Buffering, a sister's guide to teens through the ages. I'm Rileigh Smurl.
I'm Sydnee McElroy.
I am a teenager.
And I was too.
The three of you enter a cave of a big red dragon and is standing over a hoard of precious golden rubies. And he says, "What do you do, adventurers? I'm a dragon man."
I cast fire on him. It's very good.
I address the red dragon and say, we're the hosts of The Adventure Zone, a podcast about family playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Very good synergy. Commit to the bit.
I roll to charm new listeners. It is very effective, against all odds.
Everybody, we're the McElroys. We host The Adventure Zone. It's a podcast where we play Dungeons & Dragons together. It's a comedy podcast. We don't take the rules too seriously because there's a lot of them and we did not take the time to learn them. Maybe listen to us. We come out every other Thursday on the Maximum Fun Network. You can find us on iTunes or on MaximumFun.org. I think this promo's a critical hit.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Listener supported.